Hello and welcome to How Not to Draft. I'm Jethro and we're going to be running through another Return to Ravnica 8.4 this afternoon. I love this format, I still think it's great. I still don't want to draft online, I want to draft in real life, so that was fun. Hopefully this queue's going to fill up. I should have sorted out now for the recording, in terms of the recording, the black borders around the screen. Those should have gone. Whether or not the audio's any good these days, I'm still waiting on. But here we go, pack 1. Immediately I'm noticing our rare is Death's Presence, which is fairly bad. I mean, it's good and I've been killed by it, because if you get it down on turn 6 and they've got nothing, but it is a 6-drop enchantment that doesn't immediately have an impact on the board, and that's not the sort of spell you want to be playing. I think this pick boils down to we've got the Rixmardy Guildmage, which is great in the Rakdos deck that wants it. It does exactly what the Rakdos deck wants it to do. It gets your creatures through, it forces them to lose life. The next best Ravnos card is probably like the Spawn. Or there's also a Courser's Accord, which is a great little Selesnya card. I've seen this going really late actually, it's a good card. Double Centaurs. Then we've got kind of a Guild Gate, an Action Injunction. Nothing much, this isn't a fantastic pack. I think I'm going to take the Accord, because even though it's a multicolored spell, and even though I'm passing a green rare, that's a good point, I'm passing a green rare. If I pass that and that, I should just take the Guild Mage. No, I'm going to take the Courser's Accord, because if Selesnya is open, I want to be Selesnya. Selesnya is generally speaking better than Rakdos. And immediately we're past a rare Selesnya card in Wayfaring Temple, which I haven't actually played with, but I think looks pretty good. The fact that you get to populate every turn if you can get this guy through seems fairly good. He feels like kind of Selesnya, Stealer of Secrets, in that it's like drawing a card, except you get to make creatures. And this puts us on a sort of all-in populate plan, and the sooner you can go on the populate plan, the better, because then it means the sooner you start valuing token makers that much more highly. Token makers like Knightly Valor, which is good if you're on populate, but like fine to bad if you're not. So that's what I'm looking to wheel here, or Selesnya Guildgate. If neither of those wheel, that's pretty bad for us. We maybe get an aerial predation back. But this, not as good as it looks. I don't think so. Worth knowing there's a couple of pretty good Izzet cards in the pack. Thought Flare obviously better than the Staticaster. Staticaster, fairly bad. It's alright, it makes combat math difficult, but Thought Flare is like cards. So we're passing good Izzet signals, and receiving fairly good Selesnya signals up until now. Okay, so the best kind of straight Selesnya cards in the pack are... This costs black, so we've got like a Pegasus and an Axebane stack. So I think we might branch out here into some sort of 3-colour. We've got either Golgari, or there's an Azorius Charm, which I think is going to be our pick here. I think we haven't seen or passed a ton of Azorius yet. Well, it was like an Action Junction in our first pack, but I don't seem to remember there being a ton in our last pack. And there's nothing stopping us splashing maybe a Courser's Accord or Wavering Temple. My plan here is to splash the Charm, obviously, or try and go straight 3-colour. I don't feel like we're missing out on much by taking the Pegasus. I don't feel like it's still a little early to call this Selesnya's closed signal. If we get another pack or two with no Selesnya in, then we'll consider going more Azorius. But let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so we've got a few good cards here. There's a few options. There's a Seller of Songbirds, which makes tokens, which is what you want to do. It's a 3-drop. It counts as 2 creatures, which is great for our Wayfaring Temple, compared to these guys, which only count as 1 creature each. These guys, I'd say, are pretty similar. I'd say it's probably Armory Guard, followed by Rhino, followed by Sentry. This card, I see people playing it, and it's fine, but it's never more than fine. It really isn't. There's also a Sundering Growth in the pack, which is close to the Seller, but I'm of the opinion that you should pick up tokens before you pick up populate effects, because tokens do something before you populate them, but populate does nothing before you populate it. I mean, this destroys an artifact for enchantment, sure, but, you know, it's expensive for destroying an artifact for enchantment, and there'll be times where it's just dead, but this is always a 1/2 and a 1/1 flyer. So yeah, hopefully we'll wheel some sort of creature out of that pack. Can't imagine absolutely nothing coming back to us. So here we've got an Izzet Guildgate, Goblin Electromancer. Izzet seems fairly open, so we're passing fairly good Izzet. It's good news. I think we're probably looking at a Selesnya player, maybe 1 or 2 to our right, because that makes sense why it's being sort of cut, but not too heavily cut. I mean, here we're taking probably the Avenging Arrow, which is fine, you know, it works as removal, in the same way, you know, Savage Surge works as removal, I guess. But, maybe it's Savage Surge here, maybe that's the... No, I feel like Avenging Arrow is going to be better than Savage Surge, because Savage Surge you need to have a creature out, and there'll be times when we don't have a creature out. And we'll want to avenge ourselves somehow. I mean, a creature that can block as well, or attack. Whereas the arrow, I mean, it's not great removal, it's not like Death Mark. Why did I pick Death Mark? Murder. There we go, the classic move, murder. That'll do. So here we've got a Civic Saber, which is pretty good on a Wayfaring Temple. Now I think about it, you know. It's a plan. Another dorky Selesnya Sentry, a trained Caracal, but I think we're just going to take the 8/8 here. The Risen Sanctuary. I mean, this guy comes down and then beats them to death. You know, I mean, we can now value maybe a couple of Axebane Guardians a little higher, because they'll help with our potential splash as well. So yeah, we'll take the Risen Sanctuary. Not a lot to say there. And then this pack. Ow. Okay, I mean, this is empty, so there's... Oh, Ultimate 8 disconnected. That's good for us. Sorry, I'm a mean person. So, probably just taking the key... No, because we can't do anything with this key rune. I mean, it ramps us a little, I guess. And counts as a green... It's now like take a Doorkeeper? Or a Crosstown Courier? Would we just take Door... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I'm going to take the Doorkeeper. I mean, key rune's better, but if we do get Axebane Guardians, then that'll help us go 3-color, and the Doorkeeper's not bad with that plan. Ugh, sounds horrible just thinking about it. Okay, Druid's Deliverance is a fine Selesnya card. Certainly we don't want another 7-drop that's pretty much worse than our current 7-drop. I mean, Reach and Trample are fine, but a Trample 5/5, you know. Reach means you want to hold it back on defensive, and Trample means you want to attack with it. Whereas this, you can always attack, and it's got Vigilance. And Druid's Deliverance, you know, more populate effects. It's kind of what we're after. Okay, so the Death's Presence wheeled, and it might now be the pick. Because we want to have some sort of green rampy stuff going on. We're going to have a lot of creatures going on. It's that or Armory Guard. We don't yet have a Guild Gate. We're probably going to want an Azorius one, at least. But I think, you know what, it's a rare. I haven't played with it. I've only played against it. And while it is a 6-mana enchantment that doesn't really do anything, I think I'm going to take it. And see what happens. And there were 2 Selesnya cards here that didn't wheel, weren't there? So that's unfortunate. We're just going to take the aerial predation. So there are 2 Selesnya players. One about 2 to our right and one maybe further round, so direct opposite us or further, which would explain why we got that utterly horrible pack really late. So I imagine pack 2 is going to be better than pack 1, and then pack 3, depending on... I mean, if we cut harsh enough in pack 2, it's possible we can force one of those guys to go slightly more into other colours. But pack 3 is probably going to be tough, so we're going to want to try and capitalise on pack 2 as much as possible. Pick up as many players as possible, because we're fairly rooted in Selesnya. I mean, we can look out for fixing. I'm hoping the Azorius fixing... Ooh, this is my favourite forest, by the way, ever printed. Utterly love it. We can look out... Search Warrant is not a card. We can look out for fixing in the next pack. In pack 3, that is to say, because hopefully that'll be flowing, and then we can pick up cards next pack, which will be our opportunity to do so.